those of you guys don't know me, I've been in the business since 2001, bought an info product on TV, and ended up just started buying properties. Fast forward to 2010, so I've been in business 9 years, and I was just struggling with finding good people, putting systems in place, you know, automating the business. I was wearing every single hat. I at that time had fired my full staff for the third time, and I had 4 people on staff. 3 of them were stealing from me. 2 of them were living in my properties, and I had to evict them. And it was a shit storm, for lack of better words. So kind of hit rock bottom there, where I was like, okay, you know, I've had some financial success, but I'm doing everything myself. I'm working 80 hours a week. I've got to figure out how to do something different. So I'd seen Than Merrill for a couple of years. He'd done a lot of online marketing. Well, he'd just come up with Mastery. And so I was probably one of the first 50 or so students, I would say, to join in about 2010. It might have even been late 2009. And so that's what got the vision of of automating my business, of like stepping out of it. And so I started putting in his systems in place. I started joining mastermind groups, getting additional coaching. And so the first 10 years of my business, I didn't ask for a lot of help. And then I found fortune builders, found masterminds. And now that's what I love to do, is things like this, where we interact, we share what's working, what's not working. And the power of the mastermind is really just to bring things that are not working to the table, so that people can help you figure it out, but also to share what is working so that we can help each other. And so over the last 20 years, I've done over 500 deals. I've got a team in Kansas. So I live in San Diego. I've been here for 5 years. So my team is in Wichita, Kansas, where I was born and raised. That's where my team is. They run the business. I only work a few hours in my business. So after I joined Fortune Builders, it was about 3 to 4 years of like building everything out and really like working those systems and other systems I was getting from mastermind events, to eventually finally like step out of my business and say, okay, I don't have to be there anymore if I don't want to. And then moved to California, because I'd met my wife, who's from Canada. She moved to Kansas, didn't like it, which I totally understand. If you've been to Kansas, is not near as much to do. So moved to California 5 years ago, and working things remotely. So Marie and I connected because about 2 years ago, about a 17,000 square foot building, we built out 3,000 square feet of it for our office. And then we had 14,000 square feet of just blank canvas that had been gutted out. It was on a major highway, great location, but the previous owner had gutted it out, was going to remodel it for a nonprofit, and that ended up falling through. So we put it on the market and sold it. And so I bought it. We had 14,000 square feet of space left, and couldn't lease it out because people just have the vision for it. So got this crazy idea of creating a co-working space, created a floor plan, budgeted $900,000 to finish the space. Took us about 1.5 to finish it out, which it's a great space. If you guys have a chance to check it out, it's awesome. And we just opened 30 minutes before everything had to shut down. So, which is a blessing, I think, overall, because we've opened back up. I think people are going to downsize to, co-working space and have to work remotely, and then use our space to come in when they want to. So in the end, it's going to work out. So that's kind of my backstory, where I came from. But I want to hear from you guys first. I want to know what you guys want to talk about. So the mastermind itself is, when I run masterminds, they're usually half a day to 2 full days, right? So we're going to try and do that here in about 40 to 50 minutes. The great thing about masterminds, some people call their seminars masterminds, which it's them speaking. That's not a true mastermind. A true mastermind is when you can bring something to the table and other people can talk you through your challenge. And with my masterminds, typically we get to go through everybody and present a challenge, and we talk through it. We get about, anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how long the mastermind is. But I just want you guys to throw some things out. What are some things you guys want to talk about? What are your challenges? Just really briefly, because we, like I said, we don't have a lot of time, and we've got, some people on here, but just some challenges. Is it project management? Is it systems? Is it contractors? what kind of things are you having challenges with that you guys would like to solve?
Nobody can talk. What would our speech?
No one has any problems. This is
No.
great. Chris, what about you, bud? You seems like you've got some projects going on. What's your one top challenge, would you say?
Right now is the city. So I don't think that there's much in my control itself, but we're getting back on track. It was issues with the city itself, because such as that project, I've been asking if I was going to.
You're cutting out there, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Am I still good?
Yeah, I think it's a little better.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, essentially what was going on with this property is the whole time from the start, I was asking if I was needing architectural drawings, and the city the whole time kept telling me, no. So I finally get the inspector to come out, and he checks everything over. He says, okay, you're good, proceed. Now I need to see your architectural drawings so we can get you a permit. And that was my big holdup. So I had shut down for three months, wait for those guys to come out there, finally get out there, and then once they did, then I had to.
Is there anything, Chris, specifically like with the business that you're working in it, like contractors or private money or something like that?
No, I've got a pretty good system on getting those together, but I would say let's go with because I can always use more help on it. Is like communicating with possible leads. So, because I don't have a problem with talking to people, but at the same time, it's like I know it's got to be, things have got to be set up properly.
Lead communication as far as like follow-up systems and things like that?
More or less like just talking to the people. Because like I'm just more of a basic guy. Like, that sucks. I don't like it. Whatever. And instead of me just saying that to somebody, and being able to take that the same words and kind of manipulate them around and make them work better for me. It's I don't like you type of thing.
So it's not the system, it's how you communicate with the leads.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Like I said, I have no problem with talking to people. It's just, and I'm sure people on here can tell me, my wife tells me all the time too, that I just have like a no filter.
Right. Okay. All right, cool. So we'll try and jump into that. How about Wendy? How about you guys? What are your guys' challenges right now?
For me personally, and we kind of touched on this earlier when we introduced ourselves, I'm still really struggling trying to figure out where I want to focus. It's I know.
Syndrome.
I just left a 26-year corporate job last year, so this is a huge change for me, and just trying to get settled into a totally different atmosphere and totally different kinds of people, and which is definitely all more positive than what I was dealing with. It's just a lot of change for me. So just trying to figure out, I want to figure out more quickly, where do I want to settle? And I don't know if there really is an answer for that. I just have to keep doing my research and just reading and joining these groups and just keep doing what I'm doing, I think. I don't know if you have an answer for that, but
well, let's talk about that for a minute. So, like for me, over 20 years, I realized I was doing a lot of things that I didn't like to do. And, there's those people that say you've got to grind, you've got to, suffer and do what you hate and all those kinds of things. And I'm the opposite. I'm like, I just want to do what I like. I like doing stuff like this. I like creating things. I like building businesses, but I don't like being in the little details of operations of it. So what do you like to do? Like, what are the things that you love to do the most?
Actually, I'm really good at the detail stuff, behind the scenes stuff. I'm not that great at the networking and project management and all that. I like, trying to keep, doing the, keeping things organized and in that part of it. In fact, I'm working part-time for a real estate broker right now for a couple of reasons. For one thing, I need a little bit of income and also just to learn the ropes, and I'm studying to get my real estate license as well. So
what are the choices here? You have flipping, you have rentals, and then you said real estate license. So those are the three that you're kind of figuring out what you want to do with.
I have no intention of becoming an agent. That is not where I want to go. I'm getting that because, well, first of all, I felt that it's good for somebody on our team to have the license. And also the broker that I'm working for, he's also, our realtor, we've known him for a long time. And he asked me, if that was a condition of working for him, is he wanted somebody who could get their license. So, I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. But I want to look more into the passive end of it. Like we do have a couple of rentals, probably pick up more when this flip is done and I've got some cash freed up. Private money lending, whatever else I can figure out, to make passive income. I don't want to be out there, knocking on doors and cold calling and doing all that.
So it sounds like you're a system builder and like to run the back end of the operations. What about rentals compared to flips? Like, those are two totally different things. Flips
Yes, they are.
They're more money up front, a lot more management, and then rentals are a little more passive. They can be work, but
Right.
They're slow cash but high net worth later. So
right. Well, we're working on our first flip right now. So it's like right now I like it, but at the same time, well, Louis here, he's my project manager.
And I enjoy that. I used to work in construction, so I know how these contractors are.
right. So it sounds like you can do both. You can do the
Yes.
flip, you can make money, and then you can take some of that money or all of it. I don't know how you guys are set up, and then put them into your passive income portfolio, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
with those rentals, are you buying them already rented, like turnkey, or are you fixing them up and then renting them so that you've got equity in them and that kind of thing?
Well, our first one already had renters in it. We got it from a wholesaler that found on Facebook, and it's turned out fine. That we've had that rental for almost a year now. The renters are, they're really good. The property itself, when they are ready to leave, it's going to be a huge project to fix up that property. And we're actually considering wholesaling it, just because it's not bringing in a whole lot of money. It's bringing in a little bit, maybe $150 a month after, pay the monthly payment. So it's not bringing in a lot. We'll probably, I don't know if we'll raise the rent, under the circumstances when the lease is up or not, because they don't make a lot of money. It's like, I don't know if it'd be worth it for us. We might end up losing them altogether if we tried to raise the rent. And then the other property we got through the Passive Income Club. It's out of state. I don't have to worry about it at all. I bought that one outright, so I don't have a monthly payment on that one. I just collect the rent.
Nice. Okay.
So that's what I like the best.
Well, again, it sounds like you can do a combination of them. We do a combination of things. We do flips, we do wholesales. We've got, over 100 rental properties in our portfolio. So, that's the great thing about having multiple strategies is when you find a property, you have multiple things to do with it. For us, we buy a property. Our number one thing is we want to flip it and cash out of it. But if it's in an area that may not sell as well, that's maybe a higher cash flow area and lower income, that could be a better rental property. I've even kept more expensive properties that we couldn't sell as quickly and kept those for long-term long-term gains. And when I say expensive, it's Kansas. So like, $350,000 is a lot of money, right? So having multiple strategies gives you multiple ways to work deals, and you don't necessarily have to say that this is my ultimate strategy. And I do a tiny bit of wholesaling. I'll wholesale properties and clean them up and put them on the market sometimes. So don't think that you have to actually have like one strategy that you totally focus on. If you've got multiple strategies, a deal comes in the funnel and you can figure out what to do with the property.
Right. That's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have something they want to talk through?
Brooke and Bill, what are you guys
we,
doing right now?
We're doing okay, but we're working on a rental property now, rehabbing.
Looks
our
like
biggest issue
you're broken up. Are you guys hearing a
been
freeze
at our
there?
jobs for 35 years.
Mm,
What are we doing?
You froze up there for a little
Are we
bit.
coming through? Oh, so we're just having a hard time getting to the next level. I mean, we're doing pretty good, but we want to do better. So we don't have a lot of time. And this is our excuse to advertise and market. We've kind of struggled with Mind Protein a lot, just connecting with phone calls, them not calling, us not being home, stuff like that. But overall, I think we're slowly getting things set up. It was originally a 3-year business. In 3 years, we had to have it up and running so we could get out of the corporate world and go full time in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming up to that 3 years this year. And so we're kind of wanting to get out, but we make too much money in the corporate world to just throw it out. And then with all this virus stuff and, Phoenix being a tight market, we're just, we're doing okay, but we haven't got into the wholesaling or any of that kind of stuff because we're not marketing and getting out there to find it.
So it sounds like time is the biggest challenge. You guys both have jobs. You don't want to leave those right now because they're paying the bills, and
Right.
you need more time to be able to market. And then even when you do market, you may not be able to answer the phone calls, which, could potentially lose deals. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yeah, we'd be at work and have to step out to take calls, and that just always isn't a good thing to do. So we're kind of like that stage. What do? Do we throw it out the window and jump in with both feet instead of 1 foot? Or do we just keep going slow like we're doing? And we're doing okay, but we're never going to get 2 or 3 or 4 like Marie and Liz if we stay in the corporate world.
Well, one recommendation I have for you is there's, you guys know about virtual assistants. I just found not a new website. I've known about it for a while, but it's the first time I went on it. It's called onlinejobs.ph. Have you guys heard of that?
Online Jobs PH.
Onlinejobs.ph. So instead of going to like an agency that hires virtual assistants, which you can do, you're going to pay more money. I put an ad on onlinejobs.ph, and when I do them, I create a system to where it's highly automated, so I don't have to go through hundreds of resumes. Because if you put a job posting, you can get hundreds of people message you. So what I did is I posted a job and I said, I want to pay someone $5 an hour, full time. Here's the job description. And then I had them fill out a Google form that had all of these questions of what experience they have in different areas of business, marketing, social media. I even put the programs that I use on a scale of 1 to 10, having them rate themselves. I had them do a video so I could see their personality, because I'm going to be interacting with them to see if they're someone that I really want to interact with. So it narrowed it down. Instead of getting hundreds of resumes, I got 70. And then going through all of those, I did a second step, and I had them do another video, answer more questions. I narrowed it down to 15 and gave 15 the second step. And surprisingly, most of them did the second step, but I narrowed it down to 5 after that. And then I hired 2 of them just recently. So for $5 an hour, they're college educated. Well, first of all, do you know much about virtual assistants? Have you like read into it and researched it and kind of gotten any kind of knowledge about virtual assistants?
Very little. At least
Okay. Just want
I
to
have very.
Okay, just want to make sure I was covering everything I needed to, or not covering something I didn't need to. So virtual assistants can be just like an in-person hire. The only difference is they can't go, visit job sites, right? Or they can't meet with sellers, but they can do everything online. They can answer phone calls. They can input leads. I was pretty lucky. The first one I hired last week, she has phone experience. She has personal assistant experience. So she's managed emails, calendars. She's got a vast variety of things that she has done. The other one that I'm hiring, that I'm starting next week, she is a personal assistant. So she's going to handle, emails for me. She's going to handle my calendar. She's going to handle any projects that I have if I have a great idea, I'll just throw it to her. She can research it and kind of push it through. So I would say, rather than quitting your job, find people that can do the things that you don't have time for. And I'm not saying necessarily a $5 an hour virtual assistant is the answer, but if you want someone full-time to work on the business for you, you can hire them, have them working while you're at work, give them research, give them the Fortune Builders login where they can go in and take the course, or watch the courses and things like that, and implement those things for you. So if you do the math, if you have someone full-time, you can have someone for $800 a month that's basically working full-time for you to do the things that you don't have time to do. So
Right.
Yeah.
just an idea, throw out at you. I don't know how that sounds, if that sounds appealing to you, and what your thoughts are on that.
No, it sounds good because it only takes one lead to pay for it. So
Absolutely.
That
All right, cool.
.ph is for the Philippines.
Yep, exactly. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. They're Filipino virtual assistants. Most of them have college degrees. They're very smart. They're very hardworking. You just have to make sure that you give them defined roles. You have to give them they're very self-sufficient as long as you line things out for them. If you tell them this is what I need, they will work very hard and they will get things done. I have a program called Work Pulse, and that's Work Pulse without an E, and I pay I think it's $15 a month per user, and it'll actually take screenshots of everything that they're doing, so that way you don't have to worry about whether they're working or not. They have to log into it. It shows their productivity. They can log what projects they're working on, so you can time things they're working on. So there's ways to manage them without you having to be there every hour kind of checking on them.
Sounds good.
yeah, thanks.
Awesome. My pleasure. Cool. Who else would like to throw something out there to talk about? What do you
Well, Marie and I are definitely wanting to do I know my audio on my computer won't work, but the video on my phone won't work. So I'm challenged tonight for whatever reason. But, Marie and I are working on trying to do this is a mastermind, what we're doing here. It definitely is. And by meeting every week, that's a huge deal in the mastermind world. But really, setting up a group like what you talked about, that's deep, that's, everybody's involved. Somebody brings everything. So each person brings something to the table, whether it's, once a month or whenever, that they are then engaging in that and being part of it.
Uh-huh.
And so that's a huge goal for us to do that. And so, in just whatever aspect, whatever we've met and brainstormed, whatever our path is to that type of a thing, I guess. Right, Marie? What do you got?
So you're wanting to know a little bit more about the masterminds? Is that what I hear?
Well, just in setting it up, I think a little bit, and the difference in, and I kind of know that, but maybe some of the group needs to know that too, but setting it up differently because of, I do a lot of Napoleon Hill. I study him a lot and read a lot about him, and he's so big into that. And Maria and I want to say she and I are a mastermind. We meet at least once a week, if not twice a week, if not 3 times a week. And now we have Michelle Wooker, who's on here. I'm meeting with her too. And they're structured meetings, but then we want to take those to another level of how do you fill up a day, a half a day? How do you fill up a day and a half? And then get people to come and then engage in that. I guess, I don't know.
Okay. Marie, do you want me to get into that a little bit and talk about how I set mine up?
Yeah, you can definitely jump into that. And I guess want to preference it like what Liz is saying, this weekly huddle, I started January 2019. So, and even the people who have started in 2019 are not the same people that you're seeing on this call today, right? Because there's an influx of people that are new to Fortune Builders, they want to learn whatever. But and I want to keep this group going, but right now this group is very much like me bringing in presenters and figuring out what we're going to do and what the topics are going to be in the meeting. But yeah, on another level, Liz and I really do want to get into a mastermind group where we just have this core, 6 to 12 people that are really more contributing members of the group, not just passively listening to a speaker or presenter each week. You know what I mean? So if you can talk a little bit about how yours works or how you went about setting that up.
Yeah, so the masterminds I run, I'm running multiple ways. So I used to run a 2-day mastermind every quarter. We'd go to like Vegas and Dallas. We'd go to like fun places.
Oh, that sounds good.
You in, Liz? So we unplug away from our businesses. We get away for 2 days, and I loved it because it was like 2 days of immersing yourself with like 10 to 20 people, just high level conversations. And I stopped doing that because I had a baby a year ago. We got pregnant a little over a year and a half ago, and I was doing a lot of traveling. So I stopped doing those, and then I started doing local masterminds in my local market of Wichita, and we started doing those every 2 months for 2 days. And then I was traveling for that too. That was too much. So now in Wichita, I have a mastermind where we meet all types of businesses. I have the co-working space there, so it ties in with that. And they meet for half a day every month. I think I like that model probably the best out of everything I've done, because to get people to do 2 days away from their business and families and things like that can be really tough. That's a challenge I've had. But half a day, if someone can't commit, someone should be able to commit half a day once a month to leaving their business. You can do it virtually. You can do it in person. If you're just doing it in Arizona, obviously you guys can meet in person. The reason that Maria asked me to present is I was actually getting ready to launch a real estate mastermind online virtually. I decided to take another project on for the workspace where I'm putting together another program. So I'll probably launch one here in 2 or 3 months. That's a real estate based mastermind. And the way that I run my mastermind, so again, right now it's half a day. Everybody has to be financially committed. So I don't do free masterminds. I charge money, so that way they are financially committed and they were more likely to show up. And then everybody has to bring a challenge to the group. So like you said, it's not people listening passively. They'll listen passively for 90% of the time and interact as they want to, but everybody has to bring a challenge to the group. So when I was talking to Wendy, and I'm sorry, was it Ben? Is that his name? I know it starts
Louis.
Louis. Wendy and Louis.
No, yeah, Wendy and Louis. There's who was I talking to?
Oh, Bill and Brooke.
Bill. I'm sorry, I knew it started with a B. Bill and Brooke. So when I was talking to them and kind of talking them through that, so typically with a mastermind, I try and provide as much value as I can, but I also open it to the group to share their experiences. So that's really the power of the mastermind. That's where it came from, is bringing minds together that can help solve problems. I told you the first 10 years of my business, I didn't ask for help. And it was like, I thought you were, weak, or, I'd look stupid if I, said I had challenges and things like that. So I kind of had my ego in the way, if you will. But now it's like when I have an issue, I throw it out to my team. I get on mastermind calls and present it to groups. I will mass text a few real estate investors and we talk through issues. So that's the power of it. And you want everybody to bring a challenge to the group so that everybody gets something solved. And then it's cool because if I bring a challenge to the group, it may be the same challenge that, 4 other people are having, and they get to hear the feedback that I'm getting to take into their business, or they're getting resources that, like the online jobs PH and some of those things that I mentioned. Like every time I have a mastermind, there's always like a handful, if not a dozen, like different resources that are thrown out there that people are like, what did you say again? And they'll write it down, and they come back next meeting and they're like, holy crap, I went to that website and I did this, and here's the result I got out of it. So that's how I run my masterminds. Those are the benefits that most people get. And
so does everybody bring a problem? Does everybody bring a challenge every week? I mean, every month? Or it's like your time to present and now you do it?
So when I did 2 full days, I would do 2 to 3 hours of presenting. So I would bring what I thought the group needed based on conversations from last meeting and just, in general. But when I do the half days now, it's condensed down. So I try not to have no more than 12 people on the virtual call or in the in-person meeting, so that everybody has about 15 minutes to present a challenge and for us to talk through it. So you don't really need to provide any content. You just need to organize it, recruit good people, get them to buy into it. That's really your job. And then once you get in there, it's the power of the group that's bringing the content.
Yeah, and I find it interesting bringing a challenge to the group, because like Liz and I have talked about getting together with women where we want to know, like, what's your superpower? Like everyone has to be able to like teach us what they're good at. But going at it from the other angle actually makes a whole lot of sense, because not necessarily everyone knows what they're good at or likes to brag, but definitely what's your problems. Everyone is going to know what their problems are and want those fixed. So,
but the cool thing is, as time goes on, what people's superpowers are, because
right.
there's enough challenges that are presented that it's like, wow, a question comes up. It's like, hey, Jason, you're pretty good at that. What do you think about that? So, all right, cool. That answer.
It's interesting because, well, yeah, it does. But I'm missing my book club tonight because I wanted to be here because I knew this was happening. And in that book club, it's a mastermind, and it's very structured. And now they've added that component to it. Like, who has a challenge and what can we help you with in here? And that's only an hour and a half book club. So, it's like 15 minutes in that whole thing. So usually it's kind of one person because there's anywhere from 5 to 12 people in that group. But it is interesting. But I don't know that anything necessarily always gets solved either, because you present it and then it's kind of like, okay, that's a good idea, but we don't go back and revisit it, I think, the next time. And do you do that? I mean, do you go back then and revisit? Like, did we help you, or what helped you, and what did you do to resolve the challenge?
Yeah, we have an accountability piece. So we have a Google Doc that we do every time. And at the end of every mastermind I do, I call what's called a 50K challenge. And I give people 5 minutes to just take the notes that they have and summarize them. And we go around the room and everybody has 1 minute to give us 2 to 3 things that they got out of the meeting. So it kind of refreshes everybody's memories. And anytime you talk about something, it kind of gets ingrained in your mind more. So there's the psychological part of that. And then we ask them, what is the one thing that in 30 days from now when we meet that you're going to accomplish? And then either at the very beginning of the next meeting or about the same time at the end of each meeting, actually it's at the beginning of the meeting, we actually go around and say, what was your one thing from last time? And we call that a 1 minute update. So the 1 minute update at the beginning and at the end. How did you do on your one thing last week? And if you did it, what helped you through it? And if you didn't do it, why didn't you? And how could you do better next time? And
that's kind of what you used to do when we met in person. Remember, everybody, we had a board and everybody had on there what they needed.
Mary Biginski was doing. I thought that was awesome, and just like, what is your goal for this week coming? I thought that was awesome. Actually, that helped me so much to me especially me. I mean, I don't know if you guys know a sister or a cousin or somebody that has a child with special needs. So for us, is we have different people, different type of challenges, and also my language. I mean, too. So anyway, so I thought that was awesome, and that helped me so much to finish at least this class of a real estate classes to get my real estate license. And now I think, Wendy, I can talk to you and how can we help each other in our studies, because that will help me to finish, to take that test.
Yay.
I have found just dive in and do it. Because I'm bored as heck, but I know I got to do it. So, I'm 2 weeks. I've got 2 weeks left, and I got to do it. That's my goal.
Yes, and that's what I have to do too, because I mean, we I don't know if you guys know, but we got this property and we fix it ourselves because we run out of money. I mean, we didn't have the money to pay, so we did it ourselves, and now it's under contract. So we got a monkey off our back. So that's great, because we purchased the house, we fixed it ourselves, and now it's under contract. So that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, so Tony, when we first started our weekly huddle, I literally had a one of those boards, like the science fair boards, and just sticky notes. And I would make everyone write a sticky note and put it on the board. What are you going to do before I see you next week?
That's
and
perfect.
Then we'd go around at the end and say, okay, did you do it from last week? And if yes, we would cheer. And sometimes we had little giveaways, but if not, I would just literally give them a kick in the ass and put it back on the board and be like, get it done next week.
Make them buy a drink or something.
Mean.
When are you guys going to start?
Now, Marie, you lost out on that one because that there was a good idea. What Justin just said. If they didn't follow through, then they bought you a drink.
Yeah, I know. I'm adding that to my list, actually. If you don't do it, you got to.
That was a really good motivation. I mean, that helped me so much. That's all I can say. That was a big help for me.
Cool.
Good. Thank you. John, were you really just wearing a bandana in your car? Because I don't think you can get COVID while you're in your car.
I just robbed a bank, actually.
It looked more like a bank robber cover than.
What's going on, John? How you doing, buddy?
I'm well, Tony. Yourself?
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Should I share with everyone the biggest secret and success in real estate?
Absolutely. Tell us, a wise one.
Remember what that is, Tony? I don't think I can pull it up on the Zoom call, though.
What's the secret of real estate? Fill me in. I'm drawing a blank here.
It's that little video I got of you giving me a testimonial about, 10 years ago? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I was just telling him it was about 10 years ago I got into Fortune Builders. You were in it right about the same time. One of the first, 50 or 100 that were in the group?
I don't even know. What was it, 2010, 2011? I think we got 5-ring binders instead of website URLs and things of that nature. So
yeah, it's been a lot different. Well, cool. Do you have a challenge, John, you want to talk about? We're kind of going mastermind style, just talking about different challenges or anything anybody wants to throw out the group to kind of talk through.
Besides all the usual stuff with the coronavirus and the markets and things of that nature, and Tony, you could probably provide some feedback. I know you've done plenty of private money lending, but I guess this would just be my one comment is I've had a number of people approach me about some private money lending opportunities, which I'm happy to listen to.
Yeah, you're frozen, John.
We lost John.
John's robbing another bank, I guess.
Either that or Wendy.
Dead zone. We need cell towers. Need more cell towers.
All right, well, maybe he'll come back.
What's that?
Oh,
there you go. You cut out
we
for
lost
10 or 15 seconds.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't know where I lost you, but what I was sharing is I've had some people approach me about doing some private money lending, which I've been receptive to. And I've been a little bit surprised over just kind of the the lack of, I guess, professionalism and competence in some of the things that people have been asking me for. And so I guess that's one of the challenges I'd like to share with you or reinforce in real estate, as we try to be professional and competent people. And I find it, I guess, somewhat sadly humorous when people approach me about opportunities and I have to ask for things like complete address and, you know, what's your purchase price? How much money do you have into it? You know, what is your ARV? I mean, just kind of fundamental things. I've had one group approach me about a private money opportunity, and they sent me the operating agreement for their LLC, and it's not executed. Now I've asked them 2 or 3 times to say, you know, send me an operating agreement that's executed. And the other thing that's humorous about this particular opportunity is it says XYZ LLC, and I'm like, I don't even know what state your LLC is formed in. So I guess that's just the one thing I'd share with everybody, is that's been a little bit of frustration on my point, is in giving kind of my time and efforts to somebody to do some deals, and they're not even competently and professionally putting together an opportunity. And it makes me very cautious if they can't do things like send an operating agreement that's fully executed. You know, it makes me kind of give some concerns over potentially doing some deals with them. So I don't know if that's more of a challenge than a rant, but.
Well, no, I think that's a good point to bring up, because there's got to be standards with people you do business with. So I was just telling them that I just hired a couple of virtual assistants, and what I did was I put together a Google form for them, gave them specific instructions on what to do, and I had 80 people apply, and based on what they did, you know, and I rank, you know, if they didn't do it correctly, I mean, I could probably fudge a little bit, but if there's a lot of things they didn't do correctly, I just weeded them out. So out of 80 people, about 15 of them did it right, and I felt like we're good to work with. Put them through a second step. There were a bunch of people that did it wrong the second time. And so I guess what I'm getting to is, it's like, you know, you kind of need to test people out before you do business with them, whether it's a contractor or or a borrower. So, I mean, do you have like a really good system for them to go through of like filling stuff out? Because it's like, if they can't do something as simple as following, you know, steps to get you the information you need, how the hell are they going to manage a contractor and all the details of a flip? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And I feel a little bit silly that I didn't put together a basic checklist for these people. But again, I kind of chose initially only to do business with kind of competent and experienced people. That's why I guess it was a little dismayed to get some of the information that I did from some of these people that have some experience behind them.
Yeah. So there you go. Just put together a checklist of things. And like I said, I mean, I fudge a little bit. Like if they miss a little bit of something, that's not a big deal. But you give them 10 things to do and they only do 4 or 5 of them, or even 6, then it's like, okay, this may not be the person I want to do business with.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Brooke, you're on mute.
Tony, do you know if they're going to have Ignite?
What's that?
Do you know if they're having Ignite?
I have no idea. Anybody know?
I don't think anybody would know that right now.
I don't think they know if they're having Ignite. I don't think anybody knows what is happening anywhere at any time.
I would guess
whatever
no,
is happening.
it probably takes a long time to get that put together, and I'm sure they would hate to put it together and, you know, have a second shutdown or something that keeps that from happening.
I asked Brian.
We're already having a second shutdown here in AZ.
Wait, hold on. I want Susan to speak.
I was talking to Brian Fine the other day, and he indicated they still have Ignite on the schedule. They have not canceled it as of yet.
Really interesting.
Do they have any boot camps on the schedule? Any live boot camps?
Not live. They're just the recorded remote ones.
Recorded. They're not even doing like they did a couple.
They're live, but they're the remote ones. They're not edited.
Virtual.
Okay.
The virtual ones.
Well, cool. I've got about 5 minutes here, and I gotta jump off and put the baby to sleep. But it was really good connecting with you guys. Anything else you guys want to throw out as a last last something or last couple things to talk about?
Tony, are you in San Diego or are you in Wichita, or do you go back and forth?
Yeah, so my
I'm
office
lost.
is in San Diego, and my team and my co-working space and all my properties, but I live in San Diego.
So how often are you going back there?
I was going back when we first started getting the workspace close to complete. I was going once a month, but before that, I was going like every 3 to 6 months. So not super often. Why, you want to come to Wichita with me?
I will definitely go. Marie and I will go on a field trip for sure. We have no problem with that, but I just couldn't, wasn't sure for sure where you live, but right, Marie, we'll take a road trip. We have no issue with that, or field trip.
Thrown into this, but I agree. Liz knows me well. I will take a road trip anywhere you want to go, Liz. Let's do it.
Well, hey, we'll just have a mastermind at the workspace, and we can get a good group together. How about that?
Yeah, I guess real quick, Tony, before you jump off, do you have any advice for anyone looking to I am really interested right now in looking at virtual wholesaling. So picking a market, Midwest or somewhere that people are a lot nicer and like to talk on the phone. And then I'll just let them talk to Chris for hours because he's the biggest talker that we know. But any advice for someone who, I didn't grow up in the Midwest. So I'm sure you growing up in Wichita, Kansas, you knew the area well. It makes working virtually probably a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. But if I was going out and doing market research and a market that I wanted to work in remotely, do you have any advice for setting up some good systems and finding local boots on the ground?
Well, I haven't done any virtual wholesaling myself. I mean, I do virtual flipping now, but I spent a lot of time in my market building the systems and operations. But I can tell you that a lot of people that I know have done it, and there honestly have not been that many that have done it fairly successfully. And I think the reason being is that, right now, obviously it's really competitive. So it's gotten even more competitive lately. So even finding deals is a challenge, but finding people on the ground that can help you do what you need to do is a challenge. But we have a Fortune Builders community, right? So if you could find someone that is maybe in Fortune Builders that you can team up with, it could be boots on the ground. I would say teaming up with somebody in that market that knows it, that can go look at the properties, because obviously you get sellers to call you, you can get on the phone, they can tell you and send you pictures and tell you how nice the property is and all that kind of stuff. But until you have someone go in there and look at the property, meet contractors, get bids, meet with other investors that are going to buy the property, I mean, it's really hard to do a lot of that over the phone. And there's some people that say, you know what, I'll make an offer sight unseen, I'll put it under contract, throw it on MLS or Craigslist or whatever, and if I don't buy it, then I just back out of the contract. I hate that. I hate that. I hate when people do that because it screws sellers up. It screws up the market because, people come into Wichita too and they do the same thing and, offer $30,000 more than we offer. That takes the deal from us. The deal ends up falling through because they can't find a buyer. And then that, just kind of messes up the mindset of the seller and working with investors and things like that. So that's kind of the short spiel I have, but I hope that kind of brought some light to you.
No, that's a good idea. There's definitely some, I'm sure some Fortune Builders that I could find in whatever market you want to go into.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep. My pleasure.
Yes.
And what's that?
Thank you.
Say thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yep. I'm going to put a link in the chat box if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a review. That would be awesome. I don't think Marie's going to pay me much for this, so if you guys could that'd be awesome.
Hey, Tony, will you put the website that you talked about too, the virtual assistant, and then the recording one too in there? Do you mind typing those in there?
There's the website, onlinejobs.ph. What recording one?
What was the other one he said that records the screenshots? Of the people working.
Oh,
I know you wrote it down, Marie.
Yeah, WorkPulse. And it's without an E on the end.
Is your mother?
Yeah, and I'll put my email address in there. If you guys have any questions, you're more than happy to shoot me an email. I may take a couple days to respond, but if you guys need anything, let me know. I'd be more than happy to share some insight or tools or anything else with you.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thanks for having me on, Marie. Good to meet you guys.
Yeah, same here.
All right, you
Thank
too. Bye.
Have a good one.
So hopefully that was helpful for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, it was. Thanks for putting this together, Murray.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Tony just had so much good info on, and he was giving us like a little virtual tour of his co-working space when we were on the call with them, and we were like, ooh, we want to do that. How did you do that? Literally asking so many questions. And then it was just interesting to me that the reason why the co-working space was something that he was interested in was because he had been doing the masterminds for so long that they were looking for their own location for their masterminds and to have bigger events and get-togethers. So once the building opportunity came along, they kind of just jumped on it. It wasn't necessarily that he was looking to buy a co-working space. So then I was like, oh, well, now wait, I want to hear more about these masterminds. How do they work? What are you doing? You know, so we really talked about a lot of different things when we talked with him, right, Liz?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm giving you another idea right now. I'm sending it to you.
Oh, are you texting me right now? That's so funny.
Yes.
That's
I
a really
want to
good
find
idea.
out about this co-working space thing. That's interesting. It's intriguing.
Yeah, we've looked at a couple of potential commercial properties in pretty much Central Phoenix area. And so we're just still trying to kind of run the numbers. One of them is in a little bit of a not as nice area, like off the 51. The other one's a little bit more Central Phoenix, like 3rd Street and Indian School area, but has like no parking. So that's going to be an issue. So we're trying to figure out creatively if we can get into any of these buildings and whether, you know, and then have part of it be a co-working space and part of it maybe have, you know, cafe or retail or other things, and just make sure that the building itself is a good investment. And then, yeah, we're doing a lot of research and fun stuff on different co-working type models.
So what kind of building would you be looking for? Like high rise or anything in particular?
The two that we've looked at, they're not huge. They're each similar in size. They're about 8,000 square feet. One of them is a 2-story, so 4,000 on the first floor, 4,000 on the second, where the other one was 8,000 square feet, but only about 5,000 of that is office space and the other 3,000 is warehouse space. So then trying to figure out what we would do with that warehouse space, or if we could rent it out separately or something like that. Less than $1 million. Can't be more.
If you're patient, there should be a more available too.
Say that one more time, Bill.
I said, if you're patient, there should be a lot more available too.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what we've been talking about, you know, with obviously with COVID, I think the co-working space is going to be a good model moving forward because, like Tony said, there's going to be more of these bigger companies that want to downsize and maybe only have smaller, even like satellite offices where they only have a few employees at each location rather than, let's say, everyone coming to a high rise in, you know, downtown Phoenix, right? I think it's going to definitely, we're going to see a change in the commercial side. Because and then some of them are just going to be like, well, everyone's working from home now. Why am I paying overhead and paying rent and work from home? But then be those people that don't like to work from home and still need to get out of their house. So they might be willing to still, you know, pay for a co-working space on the side. So.
Well, I know they did a study like not too long ago that people, you know, like during this whole COVID thing, that people would be willing to give up a raise to still stay, you know, to keep working just because of the time that it brought them together with their family and everything. So there's an up and a down to it. I mean, you don't want to be around your family and stuff all the time, but yet at the same time, if you love your family, then it's something good.
Listen, and out of every crisis, there always, at the end of the day, there's always going to be the people that complain about everything and the people that somehow figure out a way to work through it. So you can hear some great stories right now about people that are saying, you know what, I used to commute 2 hours each direction to work. Now I wake up, I go running, I spend more time with my kids, and then I get to sit at my computer. So of course, it's all about kind of your mindset and your outlook and what you do with it, because we're all in the same situation right now. We're all stuck at home basically. And it's, what are you going to do at that time?
So for me, I have to go to work.
Yeah. And there are some that still have to go to work, but I'm sure something has changed in your household.
There's not a lot of traffic, Bill. You can't deny that.
That is very nice.
Yeah,
I made the issue today in 20 minutes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
That I like.
So, yeah.
I don't like getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh.
But I do like
Why do you have
master.
to do that?
Go to work.
I got to be at work. I got to make sure all my guys show up.
Well, weren't you getting up that early before COVID or not?
Yes, I was.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
I didn't get a break. Only Brooke got a break from COVID.
Oh.
But I do like the mastermind idea. I think that's a really good take you out of your comfort zone project.
Yeah.
Well, and we already do it. So the thing is that I think like what Tony was saying, just even within our group right here, that we can still meet, on the Wednesdays, but maybe there's, a Saturday or a Friday or whatever, once a month, that's a 4-hour stretch of something. And we do have a set agenda, a little bit different, like what you're, okay, so if she has the goal sheet, then you're going there and addressing the goals and saying there and doing it, a little bit different, a little bit more deeper dive, right, Maureen?
Yeah. And the big thing is like, even a couple of times that we've met, Liz, we pull out like a whiteboard or something where we're writing down our ideas and really just brainstorming things together. And all of a sudden we have a whole board full of sticky notes and we were color coding things and we weren't even sure what we were doing. Then we were like, oh wait, no, it makes sense to do things in this color. Let's write those 3 things again with this color and put this color over there and this over there. But all of a sudden, we were just together for maybe 2 hours and we had a whole board filled up with sticky notes.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be something good. We've already got our weekly group here. I'm sorry, I haven't. And it sucks because I'm down here in Gilbert right now, and I wanted to meet up with everybody. I was so looking forward to it, and then no, we're having a Zoom call.
Well, when are you in Gilbert tomorrow? We can have brunch together, Chris, because I was supposed to have brunch with Liz, but she canceled on me. So if you want to get away for a little bit, we can.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to be in Tempe tomorrow.
You're going to be in Tempe?
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
There, see? It's a mastermind lunch.
We can all meet up for lunch or brunch or something.
Yeah, let's definitely do that, though. Like you said, that was my biggest thing. Because my son is working now, too, so he's generally, on Wednesdays, he's going in and,
a lot of restaurants, you cannot even eat in there. Where do you guys want to eat?
Well, there's still plenty of restaurants you can eat inside.
Okay.
Still go to happy hour if you want to.
Yeah, the one place is good, the Spade or the.
Yeah.
I thought they closed the bars.
The Fate Brewery on Southern.
Yeah, but you got to make sure because some of those kind of places close depending on their liquor license. Do they serve food there?
Oh yeah.
Good food too.
They've been open the whole time pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, but those liquor licenses with the 6 and 7 that are more bars and not enough food, and some of those breweries had to close.
Yeah.
If they can do the takeout, but if they didn't have the food, you couldn't go in and do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Modern margarita.
We don't go to places that don't have good food.
We don't go to bars, so we don't really know that. But.
Okay, so let's do this in tomorrow for Brent. What time? Really quick, so we can plan this out.
Well, I was supposed to meet with Liz around 11, but they canceled on me. So, what's good for you, Bill?
Are you talking lunch? Or
Yeah.
you say breakfast?
11.
Brunch.
11.
I don't care. I'm at Rural and Broadway, so I can go any direction.
Nice. Marie, I'll let you pick then.
I don't know any restaurants over there. Whatever brewery he said sounds good. Just tell me.
Called
me
Fate.
down.
Fate. It's on
You guys.
Southern and Mill.
Oh, Southern. Oh, okay, yeah. What corner is that on?
It's not on the corner. It's on Southern.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I know. I mean, like what side? Yeah.
Oh, it's on the south.
That's my old neighborhood itself. That's where I grew up, but I don't.
It's a big place. You can't miss it. It's got a big outside area. It's a pretty big place.
201
Brewery?
East Southern Avenue. 201 East Southern Avenue.
There we go.
Okay?
Yep. So 11 tomorrow.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Bring your mask.
Of course.
You only have to have it to walk in.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I can invite Marcy because Marcy was supposed to come with us, and Liz is now driving up to. Where are you going?
Colorado. I get an opportunity to go visit some friends and family out of the blue, so I'm going to take it.
Good for you. I don't blame you.
I know.
You don't have to be quarantined in Colorado for 14 days?
Well, if we do, then I'll be quarantined at my sister's house, and that's fine. And then I'll go lick people just to piss them off.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, I don't need to be quarantined to ride my bike and go on hikes and hang out at her house, so it'll be good.
Yeah, have fun. Be safe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Doris having his birthday Friday.
All right. For both of
right.
you guys, by the way, I'm going to type my phone number in here in case you don't have it, but text me if anything changes for tomorrow.
Okay. Yep.
You're,
All right, we'll see you.
anyone on this call is invited. So if y'all want to meet at Fate tomorrow at 11 a.m.
You did good salads.
Janet, you can wear your mask.
Please do, people, because I haven't been able to make it down there for these last times that we've had the walkthrough.
And say
Yes,
happy
we know,
birthday.
Chris. Yes, and Chris, you haven't been around in a long time.
Oh, I know. Well, my son works at 4 now, and then my wife doesn't get home until like 6:30, so I got no time to go down there.
Oh,
Suck.
yep,
Miss you guys.
yep. Well, this has been about the most of it. I mean, we had a few group meetings, but now we still haven't been able to get back into that clubhouse.
Right.
Yeah. They haven't given any.
Well, that's why we want our space.
Anytime. Yeah. And so Wendy, that's part of why we started looking at co-working spaces is because we have control over our own conference room. So we wouldn't be stuck. Yeah, we wouldn't be stuck on the Tapestry Clubhouse rules, you know? So yeah, we're still doing a lot of research right now. We're still early phases, but if we move forward, I'll keep you guys updated on what we're working on.
Yep.
All right.
Great.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Whoever shows up.
Yep.
Sounds
Yep.
I
I'm gonna go weekend.
And
Be
he's
safe.
under
I'll be there.
All right.
John, you gonna come meet us tomorrow? I want to see that handsome face. Come on. It was good to see you here, though. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. Peace and love. See ya.
Bye. Happy 4th of July.
Bye.
Yes.
Yeah, you too.